Talking football, Peter and Kyle and Nate and Kay, and every Tuesday we have to do our homework. We have to think about what we learned from this past week. Week 10's in the books, looking on to Week 11, Seahawks, Packers. What did you learn from Week 10?
We have lost the great Stan Lee at 95 years old. If you're not familiar with Stan Lee, even if you are, Stan Lee was really the Steve Jobs of superheroes. He was a little Thomas Edison, even a little Vince Lombardi. If you were a kid, adult, whatever, whoever the superhero was on your lunchbox or your bed sheets or your Trapper Keeper, Stan Lee probably thought of that superhero. We're talking Spider-Man, Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, Black Panther, Fantastic Four, Guardians of the Galaxy, the X-Men, Thor. He thought of them. He drew them. It's an incredible thing he came up with, and he's had such an impact on so many people. Here's the Daily News with his catchphrase, Excelsior, at the bottom. And if you flip it, it's perfect. The Giants win. The Avenger, which is also on him. So he's got both sides of it. Stan Lee, in the comic books in the 1950s, were dominated by DC. It was Superman, and it was Wonder Woman, and Batman. And he came in and said, I want to do something different. I want them to be more dynamic, more flesh and blood, more relatable. And he created all these characters who were much more down to earth. And it had such an impact on so many, especially NFL players. How many players have we seen who channel their whole identity after superheroes? Those people came from Stan Lee, and when he passed, there's Le'Veon, who's got a lot going on, who took some time to say R.I.P. Stan Lee, a real legend. And some of these were really effusive. They meant a lot to a lot of people. Russell Okung sat next to Stan on a flight one time, such a great man with incredible presence. I was surprisingly too nervous to introduce myself at first, but glad I did. Definitely a pioneer and one of the world's most creative minds. These are guys in the heart of their career. Next, what else do we have? We also had Brian Dawkins. Now, Dawkins is the standard. Dawkins is a Hall of Famer, probably in part because of Stan Lee. He got very, Dawkins talks. Mr. Stan, I never the honor and pleasure of meeting you, yet I've known you my entire life. Thank you for blessing me and all the other sci-fi geeks with your beautiful mind, showing us what else there is out there for us to tap into and escape to. Dawkins was Wolverine. He was Weapon X. This is a guy who ended in Canton, Ohio, because he would channel the creative mind of Stan Lee on the field and flip the switch. It's not just Dawkins either. There's some great ones. Some guys Hall of Famers, some guys you barely remember. Peyton Hillis had a run with Cleveland, and Cleveland fans named him the Juggernaut, who could run through any substances. There it is right there. There were Juggernaut T-shirts. There was internet threads, everything about Peyton Hillis, a Stan Lee character. Right here on the show, we had Vance McDonald, right? I called him Vanos, another Avengers thing. But if you look in the background of the Angry Runs trophy, he has a Thor hammer right there that his wife had commissioned for him from an actual steel worker to make a Stan Lee creation. And lastly, another fantastic player. You might not even remember this. Andre Rison, we talk about all the time. Do you know Andre Rison became Spider-Man at the end of his career? He's web slinging right there. He decided at the end of his career, I'm going to start slinging webs. All came from Stan Lee, who has impacted not only this world, but this game so much. And I will end with a quote that I find very relatable, and I think maybe the four of us might too, given what we do every day. Stan Lee said, I used to be embarrassed because I was just a comic book writer while other people were building bridges or going on to medical careers. Then I began to realize that entertainment is one of the most important things in people's lives. Without it, they might go off the deep end. I feel that if you're able to entertain people, you're doing a good thing. Stan Lee, incredible life, entertained the world, made the NFL part of what it is today with just drawing a few cartoon characters. Really incredible life. Stan Lee.
Very cool, Kyle.
Rest in peace. Stan Lee. Rest in peace.
Well done. You guys don't know the name Ezra Castro. It's not a name that people know. He's not on your fantasy football team. But you do know Matt Barkley. You do know LaShawn McCoy. And you do know that the Buffalo Bills came out of nowhere with a quarterback who had been on the team for 11 days and beat the New York Jets in their building 41-10. What you don't know is about Ezra Castro's performance the night before. Guys, I'm going to toss to the speech that Ezra Castro gave to the Bills Saturday night, a fan of the team.
I wanted to let you all know that what you guys go through, us regular people go through. What I'm going through, stage 4 metastatic adenocarcinoma of the biliary pancreatic. It took me a while to learn that. My last scan didn't look too good. Things got worse. The doctor wasn't too promising about it. I know it's crazy. I seriously take my mask in all the time to every treatment because when I put the mask on, it just gives me an extra boost of energy. I'm sure just as you guys put on the helmet, it gives you an extra boost of energy. So I can relate to you guys in that aspect. Obviously, I'm getting poison pushed through me. You guys are getting hit. It's the same thing. The fans everywhere, I get messages from Germany, guys, Chile, Argentina, Africa. There's Bills Mafia everywhere. I get messages from everywhere pushing for me. That family, they love you guys, just like my family loves me, and they show up to the next chemo treatment with me with that same positive attitude. We show up every Sunday for you guys. Lastly, I won't take much more of your time. I want to unmask myself a bit, because you guys ain't wearing your helmets. There's my mask, there's my helmet. I'm a regular guy. 2 kids. I'm a mortician. That's what I do for a living. Been doing it for 17 years. I'm 39 years old. I'm just a regular guy on the street, and I'm just a big Buffalo Bills fan. But when I put on that mask, it's on, baby. I know it's on when you guys put on that helmet. Can you say Pancho Power? 1, 2, 3, Pancho Power. Yeah, baby. Ugh.
That was Saturday night before the game. And his name is Ezra Castro. You guys know him as Pancho Billa. He did a day 2 pick for the Bills this year. The team was so motivated, so enthused, they went out and they blew the doors off the New York Jets the next day. Zay Jones scores a touchdown. And you'll see here, this is from Matt Barkley. Zay Jones gets the catch, scores it, and immediately what he does is he unravels a towel, and the towel says Pancho Power, and this is for Pancho Villa. This was his moment to give love to him. After the game, they brought it all in the locker room, said Pancho Power. This is why we love the sport. This is why we love the fans. This is what football means to people across the country. Buffalo Bills won 41-10, and Matt Barkley played great, and we're not taking any credit away from the players or the coaching staff. They brought it. But don't for a second question the power of the fans, and also vice versa, what football can do for the fans. Shout out to the Buffalo Bills organization, and shout out to Ezra Castro, a 39-year-old father of 2 who is just a normal guy on the street who loves the Buffalo Bills and got to see his team win a game on Sunday.
Shout out to you for bringing that story to my attention. I hadn't seen that.
It was awesome stuff, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Powerful.
amazing.
Pancho Power.
Pancho Power, baby.
I like it.
Powerful
Let's go.
stuff, man.
On that note, we'll hit a short break. Everybody, we'll be right back here on